Hey my beauties, welcome back. If you all are new here, welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be talking about fall palettes. Fall makeup is my favorite kind of makeup, and I love all kind of makeup looks, but fall makeup is the best. So if you guys want to see my fall eyeshadow palette recommendations, just keep on watching. I'm going to start off with the beauty supply store. The beauty supply store has some amazing eyeshadow palettes for under $5. So we're going to start off with Nicka K. So the first palette I have right here that is perfect for fall, this is the Nicka K Peach Me palette. And when you think of peachy shades, you may think of spring and summer, but this particular palette actually screams fall to me because of the different variations of like orangey shades in here. It kind of mimics like the beginning of autumn when it comes to the leaves, like the leaves are changing. So I absolutely love this palette. I think I have a look on this palette on my channel. If I have any looks on these palettes, I will leave a link down below. But the pigmentation on this palette is amazing. I love it. Like this shade right here is absolutely gorgeous. Then you have this brown in here, and you kind of have like this pop of like a shimmery yellow gold kind of shade. It's really pretty. We'll swatch a few shades for you guys. I'm gonna follow up behind that Nicka K palette with the Nicka K Autumn Spice palette. They did such a good job with this palette, choosing the colors. This palette is old. It's been out for a few years now. I do have a video on this palette, I know I do. But once again, it reminds me of autumn. I love the colors in here. You got your browns, you got your burnt orange, reddish transition colors in here. Then you have your shimmers in here that are perfect if you want that little pop on the lid. Packaging is so freaking cute. I absolutely love this hair palette. Been using it for years. And then next we have the Nicka K Poison Apple palette. Now I really enjoyed this hair palette. The pigmentation on this is crazy. It's like up here. It's better than some high-end palettes for $4. That is crazy. But what I like about this Poison Apple palette is this is a nice fall palette that can transition into winter as well because of the deep red. It's really rich in color. I will swatch a few shades for you guys, but you can get that fall vibe with the burgundies and the warm reds, and then you can still use this palette transitioning into winter, which I don't want to think about. I love a good mahogany, burgundy, deep red kind of look, something kind of similar to what I have on today. And with the Nicka K palette, if you turn the palette around, you will see that it has like this little chart right here. Shows you that you can use this palette more than one ways, which you can do with any palette. So the E stands for eyeshadow and the B stands for blush. So like this bottom row down here can be used for blush, and then the rest of the shades can be used for eyeshadow, but you can do whatever you want to do. We do that anyway, but just, you know, if you are a beginner, that is on the back of these little here, on these little palettes. I don't think, oh, it's on the back of this one too, the peach palette. So yeah, that's just a little side note if you didn't know. The last two palettes from the beauty supply store that I believe that are the perfect fall palettes are for Ruby Kisses. So the first palette we have is Creme Brulee. I absolutely love this palette. I love the colors in here, and I love that it's a black in here. I love when a palette has a black because, baby, a black can save your look in some ways. It depends on how you apply it, but honey, if I don't like the way my eyeshadow look, I would throw some black in there and it kind of smoke it out and bring the look together. So I absolutely love this black, and this black is pigmented. The browns in here are nice, the shimmers are nice, and the thing that I like about this palette is you can create a mustard brown fall look, and that is one of my favorite fall looks. I love to see when people create like a mustard brown look. You could put a brown in your crease and put like a pop of yellow on your lid, like a mustard like yellow on your lid, and it creates that fall look. It just goes together. So this palette is good for that. And then just for the aesthetics, the Ruby Kisses Pumpkin Spice palette, I do have a tutorial on this here palette, and also Ruby Kisses has the same little thing on the back as well. You get all the fall vibes from this here palette. Next palette I have is from Luna Magic. I purchased this from Target. You can find this brand at your local Target. I don't know if it's sold at every Target. This is their private access palette. When I purchased this, I believe I told you guys, like, this is the perfect fall palette, and this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the brown shades in here, and I love this copper orangey looking shade. So we're going to continue with drugstore palettes. I had to mention these e.l.f. bite size palettes. Now, I remember when these came out, I did not want anything to do with them because just from trying e.l.f. eyeshadow palettes in the past, I'm like, I don't know about y'all, because it was a little dry. It was giving dry. But these are actually good. So these are really good. I have tons of these. First one that I have is Cream and Sugar. Not overwhelming. You only using 4 shades. I like that it's a nice brown in here, and it's not like some stupid odd color that you can't use, but I would definitely use that brown, and one of these shades will be on the lid for my highlight, and do like a nice wing liner if you like wing liners, and like a nice bold lip for the fall time. Carnival Candy, and I love this here blue in this palette. It's so beautiful. Like, look at that. If you are afraid of blue eyeshadow, which you shouldn't be, I love blue eyeshadow. I love green and blue, favorite. But if you want to tone that down, you can put some black down and put the blue on top of it, and you can create like a midnight blue kind of color, perfect for fall. It'll give you like that sultry, you know, dark vampy kind of look. So yeah, that blue is perfect for that. And then this hair color right here, I love that this is in this palette because it'll help kind of blend out the rest of the shades in here. So once again, you have your nice neutral, and you got that pop of blue. The last one we have from e.l.f. This one is called Pumpkin Pie, and just for the vibes of fall, why not bring this out? And I feel like I like this palette, but they kind of screwed it up, because when I think of pumpkin, I think of orange, or, you know, something in that family. This brown right here, what is that? Like, if they would have gave us a orangey, like a orangey brown, you know, that perfect transition color, that would have set this palette off. It's irking me. It's really irking me just looking at it. Like, I want to replace it with something. I wish I could. I went on Colourpop's website to make sure this palette was still available, and it is. But Colourpop has so many palettes that you can choose from to get like that fall eyeshadow look. So this is not the only one. They have so many, so go on there and check it out. But this one is my absolute favorite. This is the Colourpop Wild Child palette, and this speaks for itself. Like, I mean, the perfect chocolate, like chocolate brown glitter fall look. Like, this is pretty. The browns are pretty. Like, you cannot tell me this is not the ultimate fall palette when you're trying to create like that perfect brown eyeshadow look. I gotta swatch it. I have the Natasha Denona Glam Face palette, and this one is in dark. Mine is kind of dirty, but I love this palette. I really don't use the blushes. What is this? A cream blush and a highlighter up here. Don't get me wrong, it's good. I don't know. I don't know if I'm lazy. I don't want to lift it up. I just use what I like. The eyeshadows are down here. Oh my god. As you guys can see, that one is my favorite. What I like about this palette is it basically tells you where to place the eyeshadows. Outer corner, transition. You can use this to smoke the eye. Inner corner and your crease shade, but you can use this however you want to. My mirror is so dirty. I'm sorry. Listen, I absolutely love this hair palette. It is pricey, but I think it's worth it, especially if you're traveling or something. If you don't mind traveling with this, you have your eyeshadows and your blushes and your highlighter in here. So it's like an all-in-one face palette, like I said. So might as well keep going with the high-end palettes. I love my Dior palettes. I absolutely love these, and I do recommend them. I will say though, Ruby Kisses and Nicka K palettes are way more pigmented than these, and these are $4. So that just lets you know that people just be going up on the price for no reason. But I will say, these, you just want something cheap, I would go this route. But just for the vibes and the aesthetic, I love these Dior palettes. Like, I want a few more. One of these palettes I did like an ultimate fall look last year with it. What I like about the Dior palettes, especially these three that I have, for me, I feel like high-end eyeshadow palettes, I feel like they don't really care about the color choices that they put in their palettes. I don't think they do. They call the palette one thing, and then the colors don't match with the name of the palette. If it's a nude palette, it's giving ashy. You know what I mean? But the Dior palettes, they are actually giving you the colors of what they're naming the palette. And I'm saying that to say is, I can use these palettes. Everybody can use these palettes. You can create a look. It has some browns in here. It got warm shades in here. So they're not just throwing shades in here. They are pricey. I believe they're like $50. I know. But I like them. They're worth it to me. And I love using these all year round. But this time of year, it's just something about these palettes. I can get like a quick, you know, festive look out of these palettes. The first one that I have here is the Burgundy Neutrals palette. And so once again, and they do have these little cream like eye bases. I don't use that. They could have just gave me another brown, to be honest. But you see what I'm saying? Like, I have this brown in here. Let me swatch, because I'm pretty sure you guys want to know. Like, these are pigmented, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, like, the Nicka K is just as pigmented. You know what I mean? Like, the Nicka K is like, I can literally swatch that side by side and you can see the difference. But for $50, it should be rich pigment. But on the eyes, it does deliver. So that's all that matters. But it should be both ways, swatch and on the eyes. But yeah, I'm going to swatch a red out the Nicka K palette. This is the red. I know I'm using my thumb. Look at that. Look at that. Like, it's more pigmented. I'm going to swatch the other red against this one. This is from the Nicka K palette. And when you put it on the eyes, it's even more vibrant. So, I'm just saying. The next one that I have is the Amber Neutrals. The Amber Neutrals, once again, you're getting those browns. You got that nice burgundy color in there. You're getting some more browns and some shimmers. What I like about these palettes, they're really soft. They're really soft. And that's probably the purpose of it. But they're really soft. They're going to give you like a nice, soft, subtle look. And then the last one is Copper Essentials. Beautiful. Yeah, every shade in here I can use and I can get some looks out of it. So yeah, I think these are really nice for the fall time. If you're just a simple girl, you always wanted some you know, high-end eyeshadows, I feel like Dior should be your first stop. Because everybody else that I've seen, when it comes to like the $50 route, they're okay. They're not really, you know what I mean? But I think Dior is cool. So Huda Beauty, yes ma'am, this Empowered palette, absolutely beautiful on the lid. So the Empowered palette from Huda Beauty, don't get me started on this full tone magic that is in this here palette. If you want like a cool tone grungy palette, definitely check this one out. This is really, really nice in person. But if you feel like you need some browns or something, you can just whip out some other palettes or use your bronzer or whatever to warm up the look. Can't do this video without mentioning Juvia's Place. Okay, Juvia's Place is that girl. Okay, so the Warrior 2 palette is nothing but matte shades. Love it. Got a black in here, and then you got your transitions in here. So this palette is good to use with other palettes. So for instance, with the Pretty Grunge palette, it don't have any of these shades. Like me being a brown girl, like I wouldn't put something light in my crease and think it's going to help blend out this palette because it's so cool tone. I can do a whole look with this palette, but I'm just not going to put something ashy in my crease. So what I would do is I would take out a palette like this that has colors that are warm, and I can use these two together. So this is a nice palette that you can use in conjunction with other palettes, and it has those beautiful mattes in here. So yeah, mattes, whip out your matte palettes. Perfect. And you can use this on your face too. You can use this on your face. The Coffee Shop palette is the ultimate fall palette. You want that dark coffee, that dark chocolate glam, this is going to give it to you. But the Coffee Shop palette, if you don't have this, you need this for the fall time. Like, I don't know what you're doing. I've been thinking about this palette since July, but I've been too lazy to go in my drawer and get it so I can use it. But I finally whipped it out, so I will be using it soon. This is the Dominique Cosmetics-transition palette. And if you guys noticed, I've mentioned, you know, transition colors a lot in this video because I just think they're perfect, you know. They're just perfect, okay? And this palette, yes, it is boring, but I love a neutral palette. I don't care. When I first seen this, when this came out a few years ago, I was like, I'm getting this palette. Perfect everyday fall palette if you work in the office and you just need something quick, like a 1, 2, 3 kind of look. This is going to give you that. Coffee beans and cinnamon, those were my jam. And then these neutral shades up here, I will always go and use these, or I will use one of these two on my lid. And the pigmentation on this palette is really nice. This palette is nice. Like this shade up here called Honey, like any other time that'd be patchy, you know. You may have to use a base with that, but yeah. And I remember I got this in BoxyCharm for like $22 because I really wanted this palette, so I'm glad I waited. I didn't pay full price. The Morphe 3502 palette. Mine is wet because I was just cleaning it with the makeup wipe, but I don't really have to say too much about this hair palette. I mean, we know Morphe gonna give us a good brown. So the next palette that I have is from Colourpop Beauty. I love Colourpop Beauty, but this one is my absolute favorite. This is the Essentials palette, and as you can tell by the packaging, it's gonna be another neutral, but here is Hot Cocoa. Hot Cocoa is a nice brown shade. This next palette that I have here, I haven't tried this palette out. It's been in my collection for a minute. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Fall Romance palette. And usually Anastasia shadows are pretty good if you still use her palettes. Like I said, mine is, listen, it's been in the drawer. It still look good. This, like I said, this is the Fall Romance palette. This palette actually kind of reminds me of the Jackie Aina palette. You know, it has some similarities in a way, but this is a beautiful palette. I'm whipping this palette out because I do want to play with it around for this fall season. So if you guys have this palette, please let me know if you like it, but let me re-swatch it. So yeah, I absolutely want to play with this palette, but I just, for the sake of the video, I had to mention it. But I do want to use it because I actually seen somebody, I was like, oh, do I think I have that. Sure enough, I do. So yes, I'm excited about that. I kind of want to do like a two looks one palette kind of look. Last but not least, y'all, Beauty Bay, their color choices and the way they arrange their colors are perfect. So the way they have it laid out for you, the way they have it arranged in the palette is perfect for beginners or anybody that's trying to create a look. This one right here is the BPERFECT Carnival, the Antidote palette with Stacey Marie. I had to make sure this was still available before I mention it, and it is. I think it's on sale for $35, but as you guys can see, you got your orange shades in here, your browns, your green. Like this green, you can create like a khaki forest kind of look for fall. And then over here is definitely screaming autumn leaves. And then in the middle, you kind of have like your soft, like your soft neutrals, but they still kind of vibrant, and then you have some really nice shimmers in there. So this is going to give you everything that you need. And the last palette that I want to mention, which is what I am wearing on my eyes today, wearing the Beauty Bay Rich palette. You don't get nothing else out this video. This one I'm wearing today. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes. So let me see if I can remember. I started off with the mahogany. It's not mahogany. I started off with mahogany. And then I went in with liquor. I need some glasses. They in my car. Oh my God. And then I went in with chocolate. I was trying to give all the vibes. Hell, I don't remember. I know I went in with fossil. And then on my lids, I have Muse. Muse is the first shade that I use. And I think I went in with cushion. And then I think I used cranberry. Yeah. I was trying to get the fall vibes, okay? If you love that mauve burgundy kind of look, this palette is good. This is the first fall video of many fall videos. I'm super excited about fall this year. Loving everybody's fall videos. So comment down below the leaf emoji, okay, if you made it all the way through, and let me know some of your favorite fall palettes. Let me know if you have any palettes that I mentioned here. Guys are new here, comment down below, thumbs up the video, and subscribe if you like what you see on my whole entire channel, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.